Hi, you're back. It's a new day, new video, new vlog. Today I'm going to be doing a reading vlog where I probably read 3 books. It's upside down, I know. And it's going to be spoiler free. So the first one is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Lynn. The second one is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. And then the last one I'm planning to read is A Man Called Ove by Fredrik Backman. And yeah, I'm just excited to get into it. Enough talk. Let's just get into this. So I guess this is my first update on Daughter of the Moon Goddess. So I'm on page 148 of chapter 12. Honestly, it's really cute so far. It's supposed to be an adult fantasy, although it does read more like YA, but I love the writing. It's very flowery and pretty, but like it's so poetic at the same time. Like it's so nice that way. I've heard like some common criticisms of this book is that there's a lot more saying and not much more doing, and I'm like, I don't really see that. I actually really think it's going well. It's very fast-paced for sure. I was surprised, like the romance is pretty fast-paced. It's not slow burn, but it's developing nicely in my opinion. And I heard about the love triangle in this book, and I'm excited to see how it's going to play out because so far it's going to be an interesting one. Just watch. I'm so excited to get into it. Plus it had some really cute scenes already. But for me, the biggest thing is like, how is the reveal about Xingyin? Like, how is her identity and like the revelation of it going to affect the plot, and especially Li Wei? I want to see how that works out. So that would be really interesting. Okay, updates for you on Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I'm on chapter 30, page 367. It's been a while since I've updated just because it's been getting really good. I'm frustrated with Xingyin. Yeah, I've just been upset with like her decisions, and like I like how her character is now. She's more independent. I feel like she's stronger than she was before, but I feel like some of the things and decisions she's making, I thought it would go other ways, and I just wish it would. Frankly, like regarding, how do I say this without spoiling? The emperor bestowed the gift with her and she had a choice to make, right? If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. And she did not choose the thing that I was hoping she would. I mean, what she did choose kind of follows what she was intending to do in the first place, but not my ideal choice. And yet here we are. And so right now she's still on the path to save her mother with the two people who are infuriating at this point. Obviously, I prefer the first one over the second one just because the second one's so shady. Like, I don't trust him one bit. Like, when they talk about who's the traitor amongst the royal family and the inner circle, I have two people in mind, both of which, one is a male, one is a female. I have a feeling they could be working together for all you know. But from my stance, they both talked about how they wanted to go home in some sort of way, so I'm thinking it's them. I called it. I was right. The traitor. I was on point. I'm on chapter 33, page 404 now. Almost done. And I feel like this book, it's good, but I feel like this could have been easily broken down into like 3 individual books just because there's so much going on, which I guess it's a good thing because it's fast-paced, but like I feel like it doesn't transition well between chapters because what happens is that they go from one event and go to the next chapter, and yet the flow between the two is kind of disjointed. Like, it's nothing that just seamlessly goes together. Like, it jumps from one point to another really quickly. And that's something I think needs to be worked on a bit more, with the writing at least. But the actual, like, way she writes the story is really well done, because it's pretty and everything. Do I think it's a 5-star? Probably not. I think at most I'd give it probably 4.5, 4.25. But I'm not done yet. Who knows? Might change my opinion. Let's continue. Okay, update. I have officially finished Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Lynn. I think rating-wise, I will give it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was good. I actually really did enjoy the story. But there's just so many things going on in this book that I just have to discuss. So, in a quick spiel, I guess, there is so many events and like plot points and just things that are just going on through one book in under 500 pages. It's literally chaos. It is very, very fast-paced beyond belief. If you think about like the events that happen in this book, you could easily divide that into like 3 individual stories, and I feel like if you add more depth to them and transition well between the scenes, like it could easily be a trilogy based on everything that goes on in this one book. That's like my main concern, I think, because it was so fast-paced. There was detail to the events, but like some parts of it in terms of transitioning from one location or one event to the next chapter, it got lost in translation a bit, and it was just felt very disjointed. I did talk about this a bit before. Like, a lot of people said there would be a lot more talking than there is action in this book, and I can kind of see what they mean, because like I said, in those transitional chapter parts where they would finish like destroying a monster and then move on to like a mundane task the next day, the chapter in between, they would say, oh, several weeks went by, and in that time we slayed this monster, we saw this kingdom, we saved this princess. You know, I'm not being accurate here, but like that's what literally happened. And those kind of parts were kind of redundant in my opinion, because the whole point of the story is to kind of build Xingyin as like her own person and to see her accomplishments through the story. Yes, like, it's nice to see that she did other things too, but if you're not going to explain them or go into depth about how that came to be, then, like, what's the point of it? Because there's other parts that were given more detail that clearly stood out more in comparison. Now, the last 100 pages of the book, I'm glad to some extent that the major goal that she had was basically fulfilled, and some relationships were rekindled. Actually, most of them were, but, like, at the same time, I'm disappointed with her. My issue is that with Xingyin is that she is so indecisive. And then when she does make a decision, it just flops completely because she's very, like, she doesn't think about what she's doing, I feel like. She just goes into it without a second thought, and she kind of trusts people almost blindly sometimes. It's just, like, really fluffed up that way. But, like, things that I really did like about this book is that, you know, like I said, the lyrical writing is very poetic, very flowery. It does feel very princessy. I like the mythology behind it, and, like, the dragons were there. I thought the actual plot points and the way it was progressing made sense. It was good. I liked the direction it went in. However, there's just too much plot going on in this book. I thought I would never say that, but there is so much going on in this book. So that's just kind of my opinion for Daughter of the Moon Goddess, but I'm going to continue with A Man Called Ove. Hopefully that does turn out a bit better. But, like, where I'm at with A Man Called Ove, I'm on, like, chapter 3 or 4. It's just kind of slow. It's just discussing, like, basic stories and, like, small things that are just going on in his life. People say, like, the last couple of chapters, like, the ending of the book is, like, amazing, but it's so sad. And I'm kind of wondering, like, how it's like that. But you know what? I'm optimistic. If people say it's a really great book, I'm gonna take their word for it. However, with a grain of salt, as I do with most books. Anyway, okay, yeah, let's just continue with A Man Called Ove now. Okay, hello, I'm back. And so I did say I wanted to try reading A Man Called Ove, but I've decided to ditch it for now just because I'm not feeling it at the moment. The way it's going is, like, it goes by chapters, just days in his life, and it's funny at times, but it's just very bland because it's just following what he does. There's nothing you're looking forward to, at least where I'm at right now, that's just making me engaged enough to keep on going. Although maybe I'll pick it up and continue on later just because I don't want to give up on it because I know everyone really likes it. But for now, it's on hold. However, I did decide to read 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. I read about 10 pages so far. It's actually really, really good. There's a lot of things we see about social media. We see a lot of politics that are mentioned in here. And there's this really great quote I just have to mention. So basically, our main character, Eva, she was saying, look at history. Roxanne Shante out rapping grown men at 14, Serena winning the US Open at 17, Mary Shelley writing Frankenstein at 18, Josephine Baker conquering Paris at 19, Zelda Fitzgerald high school diary was so fire that her future husband stole entire passages to write The Great Gatsby. The 18th century poet Phyllis Wheatley published her first piece at 14, which enslaved. Joan of Arc, Greta Thunberg, teen girls rearranging the fucking world. I love that. That's, like, my motto for this entire video. I love that so much. I just love the female empowerment so far in this book. We're only 10 pages in. I like how quirky and just fun it is. It is kind of funny because first I was like, am I reading an erotica? It's just, I guess because of the nature of the story, it is basically an adult read. I do recommend it if you're minimum 18 plus, because there are a lot of sexual references to these things that are just not suitable for younger ages. However, I think the writing is really fun. I'm only 10 pages in, but like, I really like it so far. I wasn't expecting to start off where we were, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but because literally in the first chapter, but basically we start off with Eva, our main character, who is living with her younger daughter. I think she's a single mom at this point. And so basically she has written this book that just went pretty viral recently, and the New York Times is publishing it and all these other things. She just signed a deal with her agent to publish more series, and she's getting it signed for, I think, a movie adaptation. And it's just kind of funny because they're talking about like, oh my god, who should be casted as the main lead of the guy. And it's just funny, they're like fangirling over the options of like who the cast should be. I'm like, this is something I do in real life. It's so funny. But honestly, I'm so excited to continue this book and just see where it goes. Okay, hi, I'm back. So I officially finished 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. I love this book. It was really, really great. I gave it about 4.75 out of 5 stars. If you want to think about like what this kind of feels like, it's like a crossover between It Ends With Us and People We Meet on Vacation. More so, I would say People We Meet on Vacation based on the structure and how the story is told. Now we talk about It Ends With Us because it is very similar to how Lily and Atlas's relationship are very much childhood friends and lovers kind of thing, and how they kind of grew up later on after being so many years apart and how they rekindle it. That's how it's similar to this. Now, I would say I loved this book mainly because I don't think I've ever really seen a character or even like any story which kind of resonated a bit more with me. I would say because the main character, Eva, it's told that she suffers through really severe headaches. And if anyone has never really suffered a headache, it can be very debilitating. Like I myself can get like really bad ones like once or twice every month. And it's mostly, I feel like, attributed to my vision because it's really bad. But same thing with my sister. She has the same issue. Like headaches are really hard to deal with. Like it can get to the point where you do not want to talk to anyone. You do not want to eat. All you want to do is just lie down in a dark room and just sleep away. Like it's so painful sometimes that you cannot think or do anything. That's why I'm saying I love the representation in this just because it's something refreshing and I've never really seen something like that. It's like they described it as an invisible disability because it does affect your daily activities and how you function, but no one can see it. So I love the representation behind that. And obviously I loved how Tia talks about trauma and the aspect of healing and how it's very much generational, or even it takes a lot of time to do. And not necessarily you need someone to help fix that, but maybe support you in your endeavors to do that. But it's nice to see how Eva and Shane's relationship really plays out in this book. I would say it's actually a really good page turner if you want to look for something that's like a cute romance that really hits off pretty quickly. This one is so good. For me, the reason I didn't give it a full 5 is simply because the ending felt a little rushed to me. There were some things or some characters I felt like could have been given a bit more time and depth to really, I don't know, give the whole picture behind trauma and like how you would heal these things in general. But overall, I think it's such a solid read, and I recommend this to anyone who's interested in a contemporary romance. I would just say check the trigger warnings because there can be some pretty strong themes in this book. So that's that. So as you see, we are done with this vlog. It's been fun. 3 books set out to read, 2 of them read, 1 slightly DNF'd, but I'm going to continue it in the next vlog. And honestly, 7 Days in June, such a great read. Highly, highly recommend. Daughter of the Moon Goddess is something like, if you're feeling something flowery, pretty, something that reads like a YA, but it's more adult, I don't know how, but it is, and it's quite a page turner, you would like that as well. Hope you read them. And yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you whenever I do in the next video.